Well, and also we were really encouraged at the beginning of the year. There was a bunch of reports that came out around the state of gaming and just the shifts that's been going on in general. And between the fall offs between the larger studios and AAA games, but the numbers we were seeing was that the demographics were opening up, and so there was a larger opportunity to try and create experiences that would court these audiences that were outside of the existing ones. In a sense, we're also kind of like we were saying, future-proofing. We're building for those audiences. So the more headsets and devices that are coming out, the more we want to have showcase the fact that there is content here for you. Doesn't just look like one thing, and it does check the boxes on things that you're willing to pay for. It does check the box on entertainment and experience. Nathan said we're not doing anything in Rec Room today, but
right.
But of course, if it makes sense, and especially for how we want to grow, and like Nathan said, we're a lean team for a reason, and also continuing to be passionate about building and not knowing what we don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting to think about and consider what platform you use to build these games and experiences with, right? Like you mentioned, Lustration was built in Quill, and that you really wanted to build Pop and Drop in Horizon Worlds, and maybe nothing in Rec Room yet, but who knows, right? Like how do you guys make those decisions or those calculations about which platforms you want to experiment with and move towards?
Yeah, it's a good question. There's a couple of things that come together. I think the natural and obvious way to think about it is,
right
what is
place,
the
right time?
Yeah, well, I was going to say money.
I was getting to that.
Right place, right time.
There's the purest way of looking at what is the right platform for the story. What audience is there? How are they engaging? With the content. So Pop and Drop is a very, fun, simple experience, which is about social dynamics, So Horizon Worlds is a great platform for that, and it's a quick hit kind of experience. Whereas, other properties we've got, won't make sense. So you kind of, the purest and idealistic way is saying what's the right platform for the content and the story. But, as Ben said as well, we're always looking at, and in this industry, we need to look at what are the financial incentives and resources that we can work on. So it's better for us to be making something on a different platform than not making something at all. So, we're looking at a bunch of different areas, and there's some good AR opportunities around at the moment. We're very impressed with what Snap had at AWE, and kind of looking at that and how we can extend. And even the other platforms like Viveverse and others too, just looking around and seeing what's happening and kind of retrofitting some of our strategies to work with what the opportunities are. So it's kind of a balancing act between those two from my perspective. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Woodua?
Oh, I would just add the third piece of playing in a space where we already have content. And so going back to what we're saying about the ability for people to discover more of our content. So if we have Lustration up on Meta, and we also have other experiences on Meta, then it continues to be this test bed for us, and we can extract whatever learnings and move on to other experiences, and also continuing to invest where we've already planted some seeds.
Not to sound like a shill here, but Meta, one of the draws to Meta Horizon Worlds as a platform is you really can iterate quite quickly. And for Pop and Drop, from start to finish, how long was it? 3 months? It was not really very long.
Once we got into it, it was pretty well 3 months. So it's very quick.
I think wasn't there there was a couple holidays and some more things.
We went to AWE and
we went to AWE, and I had drinks with you guys then.
The right amount.
The right amount.
And it was a lean team. It was a couple artists, a developer, a game designer, and producers. So it was. Caveat, we all worked on it here except for Don. Sorry, Don.
I didn't get the chance. Yeah.
That is something that, despite times of frustration with the platform, is something that has always super drawn me to it.